almost end of April. Spring is finally here. It's probably one of the latest years I can remember for spring color. It's a good year because everything's coming out all at one time. See, there's lots of different colors this year. Yeah, a little tired tonight. Been working a lot. That's a nice tree, the sparkling arrow. Everybody loves that. Yeah, keeping up with everything has been a little difficult this year, but I'm doing it. Got big trees planted this weekend, trees moved in, new inventory. Everybody's been working in their yard, so they're keeping me busy with new trees. Conifer people, here's an interesting one. It's an Ombalus, and I'm not quite sure which variety it is. There's a couple names for it. Really like it, nice blue. I don't even remember half the trees' names by the time I get here. So that's why it's harder for me to name them all. This is a neat tree. Got the kids riding by. La Gracias and Abies. And then I have here the red dragon. Typical red weeper. Giant Jocosi. If you ever wonder how tall a Jocosi goes, well, that one's stretching 16, 17 feet. Green arrows are about 20 some feet. Come down here to Kinshi, another Koto Noito type tree. Old Shana all beat up. A lot of beat up trees here. It's where they go to get recoup. Or some of them just come here because they're so big. Like down at the end of the New Pixie. That's a nice bloodgood. Interesting color on the camera. It looks like the atrilinear is orange, but yellow orange, but it's actually red. I'm not sure how that's going to turn out. So beat up old Shinshoujo. Back in the ground. This big pixie came in. Kai Hajako. I never know how to pronounce this one. Kai something. K-I-H something. Really pretty tree. Kamagata right there. Ready to go back in the ground. Ruby stars. That's why I like ruby stars. Right there. Big purple ghost. You can see some of the work still remaining for this week. Put trees in pots. Take trees that are not doing so well this year. Plant them in the ground. Hopefully they'll recover. Most cases they do. Here's a Geisha Gone Wild. I like this red sentinel. Nice tree. Sold it to somebody, got winter frost, gave it back. I got it back. It's looking good now. Flavsons looks wonderful. Over here planting a Jerry Schwartz, Pixie. I got enough of those that I figure I'll keep some of them in the ground. You can see some trees all tied up. Trees in bondage, as somebody said. Baldsmith back there looking perfect. And anybody wonders why I stopped buying the red trees, I just tell them all you have to do is look at that. Red green. There's so much color. It gives a lot more depth. Another big purple ghost over here. Over here we threw in a couple new conifers. Well, they're not new, they're old. There's a Korean fir that was not doing well. A lot of my firs over at the other house were having a lot of trouble. I don't know if it was because they were in the pot so long or it's just the weather. It's really warm and dry. Pots seem to be pretty dry. So yeah, I still have a mess down here. I didn't get my garden in, or my grass in. So, got my deck full of little trees and pots. My little hobby. It's a nice Canadian hemlock dwarf version. There's about 5 of them in the yard. They're all original. A guy named Bitch, down in Oregon, started all these things. Some of them, I think one of them's got some names like Bacon Crostata and Jarvis, I think, is another one. There's a few others that these were at the beginning before there were names on them. It's a nice Picea, emerald something or other. Again, hard for me to remember all the names, all the varieties. Cow back there looking beautiful. Get into that sun, little potting shed. Flip back around. There's another Ruby Stars. Let's see if we can get that one. That one's 40-plus-year-old one, probably. One of Kleppinger's original stock plants. Well, this yard's slowly getting to look like a yard. Took me only 3 years to get to move in. House had more work than the inside or the outside. And the outside's always moving. This little tree right here has some birdies in it. I don't think I'll be able to get them, but they're just a little nest right in there. Yeah, you can see little babies. I don't know if we got them in there. Oh, there, Moppy flew out. Not too happy with me. Like yelling at me. Like, what are you doing there? There's Geisha Gone Wild. Or not Geisha Gone Wild, Japanese Princess. Brandt's Dwarf looking good. Getting yelled at for being here. Of course. Another unusual fir tree. Banyan's Blue Waterfall. Olson's Frosted Strawberry. Eye candy starting to come out here. You always want something that's never going to grow very tall. This is it. The Sequoia. Kelly's Prostrate. Mini Twist. Really like this Eugene's Yellow. Abies. I'm the only one who likes it. Nobody else buys it. Yeah, I got a boatload of them. And there's an Usi Gumo. Just moved it over, trying to get better condition, as is First Ghost. They've been sitting over at the other house, just kind of rotting away. Didn't really have a good place for him. Couldn't really see him. Can't sell trees if you don't see them. Here's Sister Ghost. Oh, the cob over here is looking pretty good. Birds quiet down. The blue Abies. It's this Proceria glauca pastrata, but it's not a pastrata. It's very much a vertical one. It's going to be a monster. Birdies have calmed down just a bit, but they know I'm coming back around. Orion. Orion looks better in the sun. Need to get this one over at the other house. Here's Sister Ghost, my favorite of the white ghosts, and one of my favorites of all light colored trees. Just very nice, subtle coloring. I had seen on an original Peaches and Cream, it had similar color. New Peaches Cream has different color. That's Elizabeth, English Town. Geisha's coming. Well, on the right was Corallinum. There's Geisha. Big Geisha. Back there, that orange tree looks good. There's Corallinum. Alrighty. Gives us a nice little video. Have a good night. A good day.